was a baby child.
Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil.
Good and bad was just a game.
Shut-dee-do, keep the devil in the night.
Many years and many trials.
Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil.
They prove to me they're not the same.
Shut-dee-do, keep the devil in the night. Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil. Shut-dee-do, keep the devil in the night. Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil. Light the candle, everything's alright. Light the candle, everything's alright.
Oh, Satan is an evil charmer.
Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil.
He's hungry for a soul to hurt.
Shut-dee-do, keep the devil in the night.
And without your holy armor,
Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil.
he's gonna eat you for dessert.
Shut-dee-do, keep the devil in the night.
Shut-dee-do,
keep out the devil. Shut-dee-do, keep the devil in the night. Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil. Light the candle, everything's alright. Light the candle, everything's alright. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, shut-dee-do. Hey, 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 keep out the devil. Hey, 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 shut-dee-do. Say a prayer, we'll be back no more. Say a prayer, we'll be back no more. Say a prayer, we'll be back no more.
Mama used to sing this song.
Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil.
And Papa used to sing it too.
Shut-dee-do, keep the devil in the night.
Jesus called and took them home.
Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil.
And so I sing this song for you.
Shut-dee-do, keep the devil in the night.
Shut-dee-do,
keep out the devil. Shut-dee-do, keep the devil in the night. Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil. Light the candle, everything's alright. Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil. Shut-dee-do, keep the devil in the night. Shut-dee-do, keep out the devil. Light the candle, everything's alright. 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 It was you who was standing there. Tried, it was true. As your glance met my stare, but your heart drifted off like the land split by sea. I tried to go, to follow, to kneel down at your feet. I'll run, I'll run, I'll run to you. I'll run, I'll run, I'll run to you. I've been settling scores. I've been fighting so long, but I've lost your war, and our kingdom is gone. How shall I win back your heart, which was mine? I have broken bones and tattered clothes. I've run out of time. I will break down the gates of heaven. 1,000 angels stand waiting for me. Oh, take my heart and I'll lay down my weapons. Break my shackles to set me free.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Colano, and I'm a Communication Studies and Honors Humanities student, and I'm a junior. When I was a sophomore, we were reading Dante's Divine Comedy, and we were reading a portion of the book that was talking about art and the beauty of art, because when we look at amazing art, it reminds us of the greatness and the vastness of God's character. And I remember going to class, and I was feeling really, really low. It was just a low point in my semester where my confidence was just rock bottom. And I remember Dr. Harrington opening up this discussion on Dante. She looked directly at me and she said, "Jasmine, you are a piece of art." And I was completely caught off guard. I asked her what she meant by that. And I remember her saying, she said, well, just like how great art reminds us of the beauty and the vastness of God, human beings also encapsulates all the amazing qualities of God because we are created in His image. It also reminded me of how important and how transformative the role of a teacher is in the lives of each and every one of their students. And that's what actually set me on the road to becoming a teacher, because Dr. Harrington, through teaching us Dante, showed me how valuable I was and how valuable a teacher is. I decided that I want to go work in inner cities and inspire my students and bring out their full potential.
I trust that everybody had a wonderful dinner and dessert. Yes, thank you to all of our staff, those who served us, and chef and everybody. Thank you so much. Driven, thank you guys again. I know we're still not done with you tonight, so thank you. If your chair is turned away from the stage, your neck will feel a whole lot better if we all stand up and turn our chairs toward the stage. And we've got a wonderful program, but I think everybody would be more comfortable. So in 1992, then President Richard Felix and his wife Vivian established the Cliff and Elizabeth Marshburn Award for exemplary service. Their hope, their intent for this award was to recognize the great blessing and heritage of those who have contributed long-term to the mission of Azusa Pacific University, those friends and supporters who anchor our mission and advance our mission. So the award that President Felix established was appropriately named the Cliff and Elizabeth Marshburn Award for Exemplary Service. Those past recipients since 1992 have exemplified long-term investment of their time, their talent, their treasures. I was looking back over the list of recipients since 1992, and I don't know all of them. I know all of them by name. I know a number of them personally. Every one of those who have been a recipient of this award in the past are men and women who have literally invested their lives in this mission to make Azusa Pacific University what it is. We have a number of past recipients who are here with us tonight, and so I will call out your name, and if you would stand, and we will recognize and honor past recipients. So Chuck and Thelma Wyant. And please stay standing. LP and Bobby Leung. Peggy Campbell, please stand. And Cliff and Mary Booth. Cliff and Mary, would you? Thank you so much. All of these individuals and many, many more since 1992 have given sacrificially to help advance this mission. So this year, the 2018 recipients of the Cliff and Elizabeth Marshburn Award for Exemplary Service is another Cliff. I think you have a better chance of winning if your name is Cliff. Cliff, Dr. and Mrs. Cliff and June Hamlow, would you please come to the stage?
Yeah, that could have been bad. So I have been here a long time, not as long as Cliff and June. But let me remind you that of every great building and the walls that surround it are individual bricks that come together to form something that either protects or supports or defines or creates. Beyond any small brick are June and Cliff Hamlow, who have given to this university in remarkable ways. June, as you may know, was a beloved Spanish teacher for many years here at Azusa Pacific. She gave me a C.
Emphasis on the gave.
Yeah. I may have deserved something less than a C. But I was newly married, and my wife and I studied every night for those. Final. Gail was fluent in Spanish, I was not. But when I travel and talk to alum, often what they say is, what's June Hamlow doing? They remember her classes. They remember the meals that she hosted at her home for her students. And it is significant that we recognize June as a part of this award tonight. Dr. Cliff Hamlow, of course, has been a part of the decisions of this university for 108 years. No, seriously. If you think over the last 50 plus years, the acquisition of campuses, the building of signature buildings, the creation of new programs, sometimes the decisions that defined integrity for the university were really driven by Cliff. One of the most important decisions he ever made was to kick me out as a freshman. No, it's true, he did. I completed my freshman year with something less than a 2.0 average, and Cliff called me in his office and said, look, you're going to have to go home for a semester because we don't give money to 1.69 GPA students. And it defined my life. And to come back and be received to this campus by Cliff and welcomed onto athletic teams was a great statement of what that might look like. I can think of no better example for what the Marshburn family has meant to this institution and for what the legacy of leadership and sacrificial service looks like than Cliff and June. This award signifies our university's gratitude for both of you. And I want to thank you for all that you have done. And I know you have a few comments. We would love to hear those. June, if you would make all of them, we'd appreciate it.
She said she would not. Corbin told me that any time I took was less time for John. Perfect. So I'm going to take a lot of time. No, not really. When Dave Bixby and John first approached us about recognition, we said no. But the more we thought about it, the more we thought about the name that is on the award. And having been here, I came here as a student. I wish the lights were up because in 1952, that's before a few of you were born, not necessarily all of you. But the Marshburns were an important part of the future from that time to today. And Lynette, you carry that on. Megan, you are a great athlete here. And so the Marshburn name means a great deal. Cliff Marshburn, Bill Marshburn, Frank Marshburn, the Marshburn brothers were instrumental in really underwriting the financial health of this institution for many, many years. Don has carried that on, Lynette now, in just giving leadership and providing the stability that we need. If you heard of Marshburn Farms, and then you heard of Champion Seed Company, that's what this award is about. It's about people who cared about the work of the Lord, the mission of this place, and their willingness to sacrificially give. And I'm sure that's true of everybody here tonight. And that's why June and I have hesitated to be honored in this way. But with that name, we are greatly honored. My mom was a school teacher. My dad was a dairyman farmer. And when they established their estate, they wanted an endowment at this university that would provide scholarships. And we have continued that and will continue it with our estate and our estate plan. Our kids are here tonight. All of them were going to be here. We have 3. One of them got on the freeway out in Yucca Valley and found out there was something going on in Coachella Valley. And I got a text saying, we're parked on the freeway and won't make it. That's Daryl. Cheryl is here tonight. Cheryl, wave your hand. And Gordon is here tonight. Gordon and Connie and Bill and Cheryl. And we expect that generation will continue to provide scholarships. Gordon and Cheryl both graduated from here and were the beneficiaries of scholarships. And we've had one grandson that has graduated, and we have 2 grandsons and a granddaughter that are in that process. Hopefully this year or next year, they will finish up. So it's a matter of family moving on and supporting what goes here. Tonight, one of our scholarship recipients is here. Darian, stand up. Darian's a basketball player and a very good one. And so we're proud of being a part of the team. It's a team of students, faculty, staff, alumni, and donors that sustain the mission that the Lord has ordained for us here at Azusa Pacific University. And we're happy to have been a part of that team for many, many years. We've had to invest, and we invest back because of God's blessing. God gives far more than we can give, and we have to remember that. And so we're grateful tonight to be able to accept this honor in recognition of what the Marshburn family and all of you do to make Azusa Pacific Place a God-honoring place. And if you listen to the sports news, they will often say, what? It's an advertisement. Graduating what? Game changers. And that's what happens here. And we're proud to be a part of that. So thank you very much. Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you
very much.
We'll take a picture afterwards.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I would like to welcome to the stage Sarah Core. Sarah, welcome to the stage. We're going to do a little stage change here and set up some chairs. I'll take that. Thank you. Great. Wonderful. Cliff and June, congratulations. Thank you so much for all you do for APU. So we have the privilege tonight to hear from one of our students, a student, Sarah Core, who is a recipient of scholarships. And when I think of, when I meet students across campus who receive scholarships, they're always so grateful. They're appreciative, and they know that without the support, the funds that you and many, many others provide, that they would not be here. So the gratitude is always comes through on their faces and their words, and so thank you again for your generosity. We wanted to interview Sarah, one, because she is a great student, and we always pick the very, very best students to interview. We have a lot to choose from, and they're all at your tables here tonight. So Sarah, I wanted to just ask you a few questions about your APU experience. And so you grew up in a Christian home. I know your father was a pastor. By the way, Sarah is a nursing major. She will graduate in next December, the nursing major. So your family helped begin your faith journey and provided you that foundation of faith. So how has your faith flourished and grown since you've been here at APU?
So I am very thankful for the foundation of faith that my parents provided for me. I chose to follow Christ on my own, but they fostered a very friendly environment to that since I was in the womb. And they really balanced my upbringing, though. They were passionate about sending me to public school and not afraid for me to come home and ask those tough questions about how the real world sometimes differed from what I was learning at home. And going to public school made me desire even more to attend a Christian university, to have the Christian context as I was learning my future career of nursing. But when I got here, I realized that, like my parents, APU is also not afraid of the outside world. And being at APU has continued their pattern. And here I have learned that I can be friends with people who may be totally different from me, and I can retain the beliefs that I have while still being loving and kind to people who aren't like me.
So you have been involved in so many things on campus, and for those of you who are not necessarily familiar with our School of Nursing, it is one of the hardest programs. Our nursing students work so hard. They don't really have time for a lot of other things, and yet Sarah finds time for a whole lot of other things. She serves on the Service and Service and Leadership team, which is our SALT program, which partners with our campus pastor's office. You've done a semester abroad in South Africa. You've done research with the School of Nursing. So with the limited time that you have had as a nursing student, why has it been so important for you to take advantage of all these other opportunities?
So being a nursing student, I've learned the importance of holistic care of patients. And so learning about that has made me reflect on the fact that APU and those here care about me holistically as more than a student. And I have been encouraged to get involved outside of my nursing classes. And one of those great opportunities was studying abroad, and I could talk for hours about that. It was amazing. But one experience that really shaped me was when we were going on a driving tour of an informal settlement in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa, for my nursing class to do a community survey. And our guide was explaining to us as we drove the alcohol houses and how the rule of law really didn't apply in that area and how many broken families there were. And then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a little girl standing on the hill in a pink dress, smiling and waving at us. And it was very incongruent in my mind because I was so excited to see her, and she was just the picture of innocence. And then I started to realize what her home life was likely like. And it really made me question God's goodness. And that was something I really wrestled with while I was abroad. And what God taught me is that He is good, and that, in fact, His gospel light often shines even brighter in places that are so overwhelmingly dark for me. So that was one experience that I've had, and many other opportunities like it have really matured me holistically during my time here.
So Sarah and I were talking a little bit before the dinner this evening, and she was relaying that story and the life lesson. And I shared with her, I think that's one of the great lessons in life that every Christ follower must learn, hard as it is, that God is good, period. Where we experience those incongruencies and we experience the times where our faith doesn't seem to make sense. That's why APU exists, to help our students navigate some of those difficult experiences and difficult environments and connect their faith, their heart, and their hands, their head to the real challenges of the world. So as hard as those things are, you come out a better, stronger, deeper, more mature believer. So let's talk just a moment about the School of Nursing faculty, which they're rock star faculty. They're just amazing. What have you learned from your faculty and any faculty in particular?
So the School of Nursing is where the rubber hits the road, because while I enjoy everything else I do at APU, I am here to learn how to become a nurse. And I enjoy learning about God and His Word in chapel and in my Bible classes, but I have loved how it doesn't stop there, but continues into my nursing classes. And my nursing professors really model Christian lifestyle, and they integrate Christianity into our classroom and clinical discussions in the hospital. And one particular nursing professor, Professor Sadugi, she approaches both her faith and our nursing profession with this awe and reverence that I've really learned to want to take for my own. So she taught me 3 of my classes, and on many occasions she would start a phrase by saying, God created our bodies to do such and such. Or she was teaching us about blood vessels, and she took a whiteboard marker and said, this is the beautiful blood vessel that God created you with. And then she would continue her lesson. And sometimes she would just burst into statements on how we should value patients with dignity and integrity because they are created in God's image just as we are. So she valued Christianity in nursing, and even outside of class, I had discussions with her about our faith and how to apply it to our profession. And she really is teaching me how to be an excellent nurse and an excellent Christian nurse at that.
Great, thank you. So all good things must come to an end at some point. And graduation, while it won't be in May, it will be in December. What's next for you? What do you envision after graduating from APU in December?
So I love moms and babies. They are my thing. So my plan is to pursue a new grad position in a local hospital on a postpartum unit. And the School of Nursing and APU in general has already done well preparing me for that by integrating job interview talk into lectures or bringing career center representatives to help us with our resumes. We also have senior chapel in this room, and that's a really encouraging environment for those getting ready to move on. So I'm hoping to work on a postpartum floor and also to volunteer at a local pregnancy resource center. I volunteer at one now, and we do things like provide pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, and parenting classes for free for parents who wouldn't otherwise have them.
If any of you are planning to have a baby anytime soon, this is who you want. So Sarah, I know you would not have made it through APU without scholarships. Talk a little bit about the value of the scholarships, what they've meant to you, how it has made your APU experience possible.
So donor support is both the reason I'm at APU and the reason behind many of the great opportunities I've gotten to speak with you about. So I'm grateful for things like the facilities in the School of Nursing, where we have a simulation lab set up so we can practice real-life scenarios so we're more confident when we go into the hospital. And you mentioned my study abroad experience and my time on the service and leadership team. And all of these things I know are supported by donors as well. And really everything I do on campus is touched by generous people in one way or another. And not only am I grateful for the support that brings me here, but my family is also very grateful. During my junior and senior years of high school and moving into my transition to APU, my family went through a very difficult financial time, but something that remained constant during that kind of topsy-turvy time was that we never doubted that I would be able to come here because we knew from very early on that I had the scholarship support that I needed. And in fact, my dad has shared with me that God's provision for my APU scholarships gave him hope that God would provide for my family as a whole, and that God would see us through that very difficult time, which he has. So your generosity impacts more than just the students. It impacts our families. My little sister is going to come here in the fall. She's very excited. So just thank you so much. I could just stand up here and say thank you a million times, but I don't have time. So I am just very grateful and know that you are cherished and valued, and everything you do is really appreciated.
So Sarah, thank you so much. Thank you. Can we give Sarah a hand? Thank you so much. So once again, these are the stories. These are the stories of the difference makers and the men and women, the students who you help support. So thank you again so very much. I know we've got a short video here, and then we'll continue on.
Hi, my name is Aaron, and I'm a honors humanities minor and chemistry major, and I'm currently a sophomore. So one of the first experiences that I had as a chemistry major that really defined my course was in my organic chemistry class, where the professor explained about a drug that was originally thought to help morning sickness, but over the process of time, they figured out that it actually caused birth defects. There was two forms of the drug, one that looked exactly the same, it was a mirror image. And so one helped with morning sickness and the other caused birth defects. And so it was at this moment that I realized that science and the processes that you learn in the classroom have huge implications outside of it, and that it can really affect the lives and circumstances of individuals.
Well, let's see if we can land this plane. See that gate over there? I think we have a picture of it. When we started, we started some traditions at the university. And one of the traditions we started was this gate. Students walk through the gate when they begin as new students, freshmen or transfer, and they walk through it again at graduation. That was a picture of our graduation in December in the Felix Event Center. That gate that the light is on was the first one we built. It was too small. So in good AP tradition, we learned from that lesson and built a big one. And when you come to a commencement service in the stadium or in the Felix Event Center, you'll see students walk through that gate. And we say to them, this is the beginning of your journey. You're going to walk this gate again at the end, and we are all about helping students remember that journey is important to us and important to them. We brought the gate here tonight because I want you to know that I am deeply grateful that you are on the same journey that our students are on. I met Sarah in South Africa. Is it okay if I tell this story? It's too late now, right? And we just had a chapel at the place where both teams come together, and she pulled me aside and she said, "Can I talk to you just for a minute?" She said, "I really think God is calling me to look out for the welfare and care of the unborn child." And we had one of the most profound theological conversations that I think I've ever had with an emerging young adult. And you could see in her that God had wired her up through nursing, but also through her deep love and commitment to Scripture and obedience, to be the best form of herself that God has imagined for her future. And I love that. I love it about her. When I was thinking about our student conversations tonight, I was thinking about something that Dr. Haggard used to say. Dr. Haggard would say, "The sun never sets on Azusa Pacific College then, Azusa Pacific University alumni. I want to say the sun never sets as it goes around this world on alum who are making a difference for all that we believe and hold true in our approach to see God's redemptive plan for the world accomplished." I also want to let you know about Tag Week. Tag Week is a time when the entire university is covered with red tags. And it's a way for us to remind students, as you've already heard tonight from remarkable students, either at your table or that you've heard up here, that they really benefit from the kinds of things that June and Cliff have done to create and sustain their parents' scholarship award and now in their own estate planning. And that's pretty significant because we think that story allows students to grow up a heart of gratitude. When you leave, over here on the west side, do you see that bright lit? Those are student tags back to you. And students all over the university have written thank you notes on those tags, and we would like you to take one with you tonight. And you can read the story of a student that whose life was changed. So let me do a brief update about what I think about this year and about the future of the university. And we don't have enough time to cover all of the bases. But I would say this. I'm impressed that this year's new student class for the undergraduate population was 44% first-generation students. 44% of the new student class are from families where they were the first student to go to college. Now think about the greater LA area. More than 100 languages, more than 100 cultures. Why did God plant us here? Well, I got to tell you, I think God planted us here because there is a culture, a society, a church that desperately needs what Azusa Pacific has to offer. I want to talk to you a little bit about where we're seeing some significant enrollment growth. In our graduate and professional programs, in our 6 or 7 regional sites, I've already been to 2 dedications of renovations in our regional sites where we're delivering nursing programs and education programs and theology programs. How many of you had to drive a ways to get here tonight? Yeah, you bet. And so we have these 7 regional sites that are embedded in the communities where our faculty and students reside, and I am encouraged to see amazing enrollment growth in graduate professional programs, especially at those regional sites. I don't think it's a secret that we live in a time when people have never been more divided, that the message of the church has never been more needed, that the example of what it means to live in this place that I'm talking to our community about, this messy middle, where Christ followers engage in difficult conversations, where a place like Azusa Pacific existing in greater LA area, that we want to be a part of conversations that make a difference. So how would I land this plane? I want to tell you a story that I have been using in the last week or so about one of my grandchildren, because I can do that. For a long time, when trustees would show up at our board meetings with pictures of their grandkids, I was a little miffed because it seemed that's all they wanted to talk about. Titus is 4. He has an older sister, Georgia, who is 7, and they are homeschooled. And Georgia's really smart. She's into math and numbers, and Titus, smart also, but he's into action. So when I visited their house a few weeks ago, Georgia and I played this game, How Much Do You Love Me? And so Georgia said, I love you bigger than the house. I love you bigger than the backyard. I love you bigger than a whale. Well, that's pretty big. And then we went into numbers because she figured out that you could be bigger than a whale, and she said, I love you a million times a billion times a trillion. And we did that game, right? And then she learned about infinity. So I was there a couple weeks ago, and she said, Grandpa, I love you infinity times infinity. Titus is watching all of this. Most of it is going over his head. Doesn't get it. He knows that these are big ideas, this infinity and this Google thing that has 100 zeros after it, but he doesn't get it. So I'm walking out of the backyard, and Titus says, hey, Grandpa, I love you more than Georgia. So what are you a part of? When you give to Azusa Pacific, you give to this messy place where we send people into the world to live in such a way that they communicate through the way they live and the way they work and the way they serve in schools, and the neighbors that they are. To do that in a way that the world sees in them a love that doesn't make sense, a bigger than love, a love of another kind love. I'm thankful for you, bigger than a house. I'm thankful for you bigger than a whale. I am thankful for you more than you can possibly imagine. We have one final tradition we do when students come and then when they graduate. See this picture? This is a picture that was taken. Do you see that the students in this picture are wearing caps and gowns? On baccalaureate night, the Friday before commencement, we line them up, we get out on the field, and we light candles together because the candle was the symbol we did when they were new students, freshmen and transfers, and we said, you're going to learn how to be a light in a dark world. And then as graduates, we say to them, go be that light in a dark world. On your table are candles. Really. Hand them out. These are fire-safe candles. It's a bit of an oxymoron, don't you think? So the bottom of it twists. Look, you've already figured it out. You go one way, and it comes on. Go the other way, and it falls apart. You're going to want to do it the right way. But now turn them off. Come on. You would not make it in June Hamlow's Spanish class because you cannot follow. So, yeah, we'll have them off now. off now. In a minute, we're going to do our own candela. Before we do, look in front of you. There is a box with a ribbon on it. Oh, Peggy, you already opened it. Look, I just threw the board chair under the bus. It's not going to go well for me, is it? On one side is the university seal. You remember it's the cornerstones, and those cornerstones stand for Christ, scholarship, community, and service. And on the other side, it says, I love you more than Georgia. No, it says, thank you for helping to graduate difference makers. We would love it if you would put that somewhere, use it in such a way that you can remember to pray for the university. So, stand up, please. And let's turn on our lights and turn off the spotlights. At the end of the day, we are all called to be salt and light in a world desperate for both. Don't soon forget this picture of those of you who are the blocks of the wall of the university, who define our decisions and keep us true to our mission, and give so that students like Sarah can find their God-given purpose.
Feel free to sing along.
Shield, my sword for the fight. Be thou my dignity, thou my delight, thou my shelter, thou my high tower. Praise thou me, heaven mortal. Praise thou me,
So, thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for supporting this Christ-centered university. Thank you for being salt.